morning and welcome to Wholesome Roots. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're doing a collaboration with Country Homestead. This is a collaboration about how to save money on the homestead. So today I'm going to tell you my 5 frugal tips for saving money on the homestead. So the first one is definitely one that I can say that my whole household understands completely because I'll hear Rowan repeat it quite often. It's reduce, reuse, repurpose, and recycle. That is number one way that we can save money. So by reducing things, we buy less. We buy less of everything that other people buy a lot of. We buy just enough. And a lot of the things that other people buy, we just don't buy. We just simply do without it. So we find ways of doing without certain things so we don't have to buy them. And then we repurpose things that we can use. For instance, we had an old crib that we repurposed into a brooder because we needed a brooder for our chicks. So things like that we can find on the side of the road or what have you. If it's something that we currently have that we don't want to throw away but we haven't a use for it anymore, then we will find another use for it, usually. And then the reusing is mainly, that's a lot of containers. Like we'll reuse containers. If we do buy something that comes in a plastic container, we'll wash it out when we're done and reuse it like as storage for other things. We will rinse out Ziploc baggies. If we use the big freezer bags for something, we'll rinse them out and use them again until they're wore out. We save all of our egg cartons and reuse those. We do just a lot of reusing items that that most people would just throw away after one use. And then when things do get worn out or they aren't something we would necessarily use for any other purpose, we do recycle. Our recycling service doesn't have glass, so unfortunately we can't recycle glass, but we don't really have a lot of things that we buy that come in glass because there's not much out there that, well, at this time of year, sometimes we'll buy apple cider in a glass jug. But we actually usually we keep those. We keep those apple cider jugs and we use them for water, for milk, for vinegar. So it definitely using whatever you have and using it up and using it again and recycling when you're finished is a great way to save money. Number 2 is make your own or do it yourself. And boy, do we do that. So there's so many different things that you can make yourself that you don't have to buy. Things like dish soap or laundry soap or vinegar. We make our own vinegar. Make your own kombucha. Make your own fermented veggies. Can your own food. You can, a big one is to skip the Starbucks coffee and just, you know, find a way to make your coffee more exciting. You can do that by making your own cajita or cajita, however it's pronounced. That's a caramel sauce that I use in my coffee that's made with goat's milk. Very good. I have a video on that if you're interested. We also cook from scratch instead of going out to eat. We cook from scratch for pretty much every meal. Every once in a while we'll cheat. Every once in a while we'll go out to eat. But pretty much everything we cook is from scratch. It's basic meat, a basic veggie, and a basic starch, and we put it together and make a meal 99% of the time. Doing it yourself, there's so many things that people hire out to do that you can do at home. You can do it yourself. You may have to learn how to do it. You may have to gain some extra skills, and it may take some practice and some trial and error, but you will figure out how to do it. A perfect example of that is how Ryan built these chicken tractors. I mean, he would have paid $600 for one of these, and he's able to do it from recycled, repurposed stuff that he found around the farm that was not being used, that was put aside as a scrap item, and he built them all himself and did quite a good job. So that's been really a big tool for us, is just, you know, being able to do it ourselves. And that's the same with any type of like repairs that have to be done on the homestead, you know, whether it's your vehicle or your home or your equipment. Doing those repairs yourself can make a big difference in the wallet. Number 3 is shop smarter and barter. So bartering is something that a lot of people don't talk about that much, and it blows my mind because it is so interesting how well it works and how easy it is and how fun it is. There's just so many different ways you can barter for your items. I've offered bartering ever since I started trying to sell eggs the first time. I said, you know, if you have something I might want, let me know. I'll trade you eggs, whether it be eggs for milk, or if somebody has some venison and they want some eggs, we'll trade. Or if somebody's good at crocheting, they can trade me some crocheted items for some eggs. Or when we have extra produce, like right now I have ginger and I'm bartering some of my ginger for garlic. With a couple of really great YouTube channels, actually. So that's a lot of fun, and you don't know what you're gonna get. But being a smart shopper is another great way to save money. So I always promote going to the farmer's market and going to your local farmers for your food as the #1 source. That is usually going to save you money. Local food is healthier for you, and it's usually not sprayed with a lot of pesticides, and it hasn't traveled a long way, so it's a lower environmental impact, and it's often cheaper. If you actually go and look and see what you eat and what you buy at the store, you're going to save money. So for groceries, shopping at the farmer's market's a big way to save money. And then look at the sales, look at the coupons. There's not a lot of coupons that I find that help us, so I go more after the sales. And something our local Kroger has that we shop at the most is they have a section in each section of the store called the manager's discount area, and it's manager special stickers. So we look for those stickers every shopping trip. That is how we plan our groceries. We don't plan our groceries by what we want. We plan it by what's on sale and what's the manager's discount. For instance, just last week when we went grocery shopping, the bacon was marked down. The nitrate-free bacon, the good bacon, was marked down to like $3. And I was like, what? It's usually like $8. So we stocked up on that. They had organic ground lamb marked down. We stocked up on that. And our freezer is full. And we have a few other items to alternate with so that we don't get tired of eating the same thing all the time. We also got a roast on sale. We also got some chicken on sale. And we'll alternate between those things. And, you know, putting it in your freezer and using it later on in the month, or even a couple of months from now, if you get a really great deal, is worth it. If you get that much of a discount on a manager special, it is definitely worth stocking up on that item, if it's an item that you can preserve in some way. We also do a lot of our shopping for items that we need, like clothing items or couches or anything like that. We go to the thrift store. We hardly ever buy those things new. I honestly don't remember the last time I bought a new piece of furniture. I think all of my furniture that I currently own has either been hand-me-down from a friend or purchased from the thrift store, or purchased as a used item at a yard sale. So just don't always think that you have to buy everything new. Lots of great things out there that you can purchase that won't cost you an arm and a leg at a new store. Number 4, just a pretty obvious one, is grow your own. Grow your own food. Boy, has that made such a difference in our lives. We have had a garden. I've never not had a garden my whole life, and it's amazing how much produce you can get from just a small area. For example, if you missed my ginger video, yeah. Look at all that ginger I grew in just a tiny area. I won't have to buy ginger for a long time. But not just vegetables. You can grow your own eggs. You can grow your own milk. You can grow your own animals for meat. All of these things are probably much more affordable. I think the only one that I would question about being more affordable is raising your own meat. That's actually probably not as cost effective as the others, at least on a small scale homesteading level. You end up spending a good bit of money raising animals, unless it's like a Cornish cross that you can just do in 6 weeks. That's usually the more affordable one for meat. But also to preserve that food. When you're growing your own, you want to make sure that you preserve whatever it is that you've grown. So for instance, like the ginger again, I am going to have 1-inch cubes of that, not chopped up or anything. I'm just going to cut the root into about 1-inch length and put it in the freezer. And then I can add that to a smoothie. About 1 inch of ginger is perfect for a personal size smoothie. It's just a little bit spicy, but not too spicy. And I put it in there frozen. So it's a really nice addition to a smoothie. I can also cook with it if I want to. I am going to dehydrate some. I'm probably going to do some candied ginger. I'm definitely going to do some fermented ginger. I'm going to make a ginger bug. I might end up making some ginger ale, some ginger beer, some ginger wine. So basically just know how to preserve your food that you're growing so that you have a way of storing it for other times of the year when it's not available. And number 5, probably the one of my most cherished aspects of saving money that not everybody thinks of as a way to save money is stay at home. Don't work. Now, obviously, somebody's got to work. Somebody's got to pay the bills. But if one of you can stay home, this is mainly pointed towards people with children, young children. I'm sure it's a good idea for any household, but for me, the standpoint I'm coming from is from having young kids. So staying at home was a tough decision for me because I actually was the main breadwinner of the family before I got pregnant with Liam. I had the main income coming in, and when I got pregnant with Liam, I couldn't work. I had severe pubic dysfunction or something like that. It's what its exact scientific medical name is. But basically I had extreme pain in my groin where I could not squat, I could not lean over, I could not lay down, I could not stand up, I could not walk. It was the most horrible pain I've ever dealt with. There was no way I could garden in those circumstances. And so I was forced to stay home and pretty much bedridden my entire pregnancy. And after that, I thought, we just got through this. We got through the 9 months or whatever. It was less than 9 months. I worked for a little bit in the beginning until that started happening. But if we can make it through that amount of time, then we can figure out a way to make it work full time, that I don't have to go back. Because I looked at the prices for daycare. To put both of the kids, Rowan and Liam, into daycare would have been more than half of the paycheck I would bring home. Yeah, automatically, right off the bat, I make half as much as I used to. Add in traveling costs, the gas to get to and from work, eating out because you're at work and you forgot to bring a lunch and you have to go grab something to eat for lunch. The cost of keeping up your work attire. Like, I mean, even as a gardener, my work attire was expensive. I had to buy my own gloves. I had to buy my own boots. I had to buy my own overalls. You know, these aren't things that my employer provided for me. So it was a lot to keep up. And then another thing that I think really made a big difference is because I was staying home, I could cloth diaper. Most daycares will not accept children with cloth diapers. They don't like to deal with cloth diapers. They're just turned off by it. I don't know what the deal is, but they won't do it. I was able to cloth diaper which if you've had children, you know how expensive diapers are. They are so expensive. And I had a one-time purchase for my cloth diapers. I actually had a friend buy them for me as a gift while I was pregnant, and they were used. So recycle, reuse, yes, that's coming back into play again. We saved a ton of money that way. And breastfeeding, I didn't have to buy formula. Formula is very expensive. So I was lucky enough that I was able to breastfeed. I know not everybody can or wants to, but for me, that was a huge money saver, and still is. So we are definitely a frugal family over here, and we have definitely found ways of saving money on our homestead. And if you've enjoyed this little quick chat about our 5 frugal tips for saving money on the homestead, then you will probably really enjoy the other homesteaders that are participating in this collaboration. There are a whole list of these other homestead channels that will be putting up videos or have already put up a video about their tips for saving money on the homestead. So if you're interested in finding out about other ways of saving money on the homestead, I'm going to leave a link down below to all the channels that are planning on participating in this collaboration. So you be sure to check them out. And we appreciate you watching. You know the drill. We'll see you next time on Wholesome Roots.